Hi, you guys. Big welcome back to the Dreamcast. My name is Denise Walsh, and I'm here in my home office, also going live on Facebook. So, hi, Facebook world. To give the podcast friends reference, it is snowing outside in Michigan. I have just gotten back from a Disney leadership retreat, and I am like freaking on fire. I am so excited, so motivated, and just feel so good about the experience we just had that I want to connect with you guys about it too. But because it's snowing and it's Michigan, I have a big, cozy, fuzzy sweater on, and it's the best. So for those of you who dog Michigan, come visit in August. But in November, it's not too bad when you have a cozy cup of coffee, a fire, and a cozy sweater. So needless to say, I'm excited to be here with you today. And the title of this is this really New Year's resolution time again? Because anybody else like, oh my gosh, where did the year go? Okay, so it's November 2018, and we're going to get to goal setting, and we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions, and we're going to talk about how to actually fulfill them down like in a little bit. But today, I'm going to talk about this past year. What I've found is that November, December is a good time to reflect, right? And to say, how far have I come? Have I made any progress? Did I do any of the things that I said I wanted to do? And if you have, seriously, celebrate. I think we often don't really realize how far we've come. You know what I mean? We feel like it's a turtle step or maybe a snail. We don't really see how the consistent effort in one direction has taken us in a different direction. And so take a look back. And if you've made progress, if you've learned something new, if you've stepped outside your comfort zone, if you have experienced new things and you've grown as a person, on Facebook here, I want you to like give me an emoji or give me a high five or a heart or something. And just tell me that you've experienced a change. You've experienced growth. You did not give up on your New Year's resolution 2 weeks into it, right? Okay. Well, congratulations if that's you. There's some of us, however, who often take a look back. We reflect on where we've been. We reflect on the year. The past year, and we go, where did all that time go? Like, oh my goodness, nothing is different. I remember when I was working full time. Let me know if you guys have ever experienced this. And I remember being like, same job, same stressful situations at my job, same 2 weeks vacation a year, same, relationship ups and downs, like everything's the same. And sometimes that's not bad. You know what I mean? Same, it doesn't mean it's a bad same. But if you're in a spot where like you aren't fully loving your life and you're restless and you want more, and yet year after year, you consistently are in the same spot, I know why. So I'm going to describe the situation. And if you've listened to me before or come to some of my live events, you've heard this, but this is a little bit of a shift. So we talk about here, right? Here is life today, where we are right now. And I ask you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like the best dream life, 1 being like, don't want to be here anymore, like totally grouchy. This is not my best life right here. And so scale of 1 to 10, you rate all different areas of your life and kind of say, okay, why, like, what would I currently rate my life? Okay. So do that in your mind on a scale of 1 to 10, put it in the comments here. What would you rate? What would be your average? What I find is most people would rate an average of a 4. And what happens when you're a 4 is a lot of times your friends are 4s. You talk about being a 4 at the lunch table. Everyone's kind of grouchy about being a 4, but a 10, that seems super far away. super far away. I don't think I could ever be like them. That's a 10. That's the 1%, or that's the, that's like something that's so far out of my reach. And so it's more comfortable, even if I don't like it, to stay a 4. So we talk about here, we talk about there's personal vision. Again, we'll have more conversations about that. But what I find is that even if someone doesn't really like where they are, as soon as you break through it and you like take a step in that direction of where you want to go, we shrink back. We shrink back and we stay in the same old habits that are taking us nowhere. We stay with the same old identity that isn't allowing us to grow to be a 10. We even allow life, relationships, drama, chaos to distract us from staying focused on what we really want, because it's a little bit easier than trying new things. So, I don't know that we do it on purpose, but have you ever noticed that sometimes we can be addicted to drama? You get around the same group of people and it's very gossipy. I remember this is happening. And you find yourself gossiping too, or complaining about the same thing they're complaining about, or whatever. And that can be addicting. It can become normal to stay in this world of drama rather than taking a step out to live in the world of dreams. So if you take a look back at your previous New Year's resolution, give yourself a high five if you feel like you made progress, if you feel like you've made a shift, a change, of growth, right? But if you didn't, ask yourself why. Ask yourself, what got in the way from you taking a step? What got in the way of you believing that change could happen? What got in the way? Was it the world of drama? Was it the fact that, even a 4 is comfortable, even if I don't like it? And so we shrink back and our identity is a 4. And so we believe that that's all that's possible for us. Oh my goodness. Okay. So for those of you that are ready to say, okay, not this year. I look back and I can recognize it was either relationships that kept me stuck, like in that world of drama, and I need to find and up level my relationships, or maybe it was life distractions and it was easier to be pulled by life rather than to keep your blinders on in the midst of life, quote unquote, happening. Or maybe it was just easier or more comfortable to stay where you are, because stepping outside our comfort zone, especially when it's unclear or we're not quite sure or we don't really know, can be scary. So identify for you, what was a roadblock that kept you stuck, even if you desired change in your life. You desired growth. You desired to pay off debt. You desired to get a new job. You desired to build new relationships or start a new hobby or personally grow. Now, I've got 2 things that I'm going to share with you that will make a difference next year so that we don't allow this to happen again. Because like Nicole mentioned in the comments, she's grown so much. And I've seen it. Her physical world is changing because she internally is changing. And so there's 2 things I want to offer as a thought as we reflect on where we've been and start to really think about 2019 and where we want to go. The first one is focus. Focus forms your future. You've heard that. What you focus on gets bigger. You've heard that. And it's not like a cliche for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely true. And the reason is because life happens to all of us. Disappointments happen to all of us. Drama can happen to all of us. Relationship struggles, hurt, guilt, resentment. As humans, we have emotions and we are in community. And sometimes that community can lift us up and sometimes it just doesn't. And we have choices to make. Do we stay focused? And this is like me being focused on what I want, even in the midst of distraction. Now, when we were on the Disney cruise this past week, we had the second day is all about dreams, and we take it from your head to your heart. Like, what do I want? And then really embodying it so you feel it. And then we end that day with a come as you will be party, which is where we pretend like it's 5 years from now, and it's seriously the best ever. And we were in the midst of this dreaming session, right? We had partners, we were talking about it, we were writing it down, we were getting clear. Like, we created a space for this because it doesn't happen in normal everyday life. And outside our window, they were doing work. Like, it was so loud. I don't know what they were doing. They were like lowering the lifeboats and doing some sort of safety drills, like amongst the staff or something. And so it was so loud all around us. And we had a choice to make. Do we keep our vision of what we want so clear that even in the midst of all of these distractions, we stay focused, we get our work done, we keep our vision alive? So that way, when we're distracted by all this quote unquote noise, we know where we're going. And so I was kind of like, okay, someone go ask them to be quiet. Like, I'm a professional asker. Go ask them to be quiet. We're here for a reason. And we did, and they stopped. So it worked. But we also used it as a lesson point, because we all have distractions. We all have life. And yet we get to choose what we focus on. So do we bring it back to what we want and focus on the life we desire to create? Or do we get distracted along with life? You know what I mean? It's like, if you don't have an impact, control, or influence on your thoughts and your actions, then who does? And sometimes we allow life to have that impact. And so in the Dream Life Daily Journal, that's exactly why every day I have you put in your goal. Let me get to it so you guys can see. Your dream life goal. It could be for business. It could be for health. It could be for whatever you want it to be, whatever your focus is, whatever shift you choose to make. And you write it down every day. I know. It sounds easy, but if it were easy, we'd already be doing it. And one time somebody asked me, so do I have a different goal every day? I'm like, no. You have the same goal until. And again, what happens when you consistently write down your goal, whether it's paying off debt, hitting a rank, earning more income, having more peace within relationships, feeling empowered, whatever your specific goal is, when you write it down every day, it impacts your day. It impacts your intention. It impacts your focus. It impacts the ability for life to distract you, because you're like, no, this is where I'm going. And it allows you to be intentional with your thoughts and your time. So it's really, really important to, number one, know what your goal is, right? We talk about New Year's resolutions. We'll put legs to that again in future episodes. But what is your goal? What is it? What do you want? Really ask yourself, what do I want? And then get so specific that you can put it in your calendar. Now, the second thing that I want to recommend, and this is probably the most important, is that you always get what you really want. And you always get what you believe you deserve. So we talked about identity, right? And identity can be its whole other exercise, like a whole day and just in this. Because when you're here, quote unquote, here, right here today, and maybe you're rating your overall life as a 4, there's identity there. I believe that I'm a 4. I believe that a 10's too far away. I believe that everybody's a 4. I believe that 10's don't even exist. I believe that everybody's in debt. There's this I am connected identity that happens and in the space we're in. It just does, no matter where you are in the spectrum of whether you you're filled with joy or not. There's identity here. And so from what I've learned, and Nicole, you can attest to this, because if you want change on the outside,
psychologist Denise is coming out, huh? So let's talk about identity. Because in order to shift 4 to a 10 in any area of life, we have to like believe we can get there. We have to like believe that a 10 is possible and believe that we are a 10, because otherwise we'll stay a 4. We'll shrink back. We'll take a step. It's too scary. We don't believe it anyway, and shrink back to that circle and identity that we've created for our. So we shift our identity and we shift our life. So the second part of this page is where it goes from your head to your heart. I want, I am. We identify what would somebody experiencing this in life look like? What do they, and we start to embody it. We begin to embody it. We begin to agree that this we want. And we begin to like absorb it. You know what I mean? Where we feel restless at a 4 and we belong to 10s. You know, it's like our identity shifts. And because of that, different choices. We become more confident. We believe that it's happening. And when you have that head to heart connection, and you know that 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 you know, no one can stop you. Truth. No one can stop you because you know where you're going. And even if there's ups and downs, even if it's not easy, even if like it takes longer than you believe it, or it's not as quick, or, you know, like even because that's just part of life, you are staying focused throughout the day. And this brings me to Girl Wash Your Face. Have you guys gotten this yet? Yeah, but Hollis. Ooh, Nicole said she did the What Do I Want exercise at Nevada. Lori wants $2,000 a month. Yes. Amber got her dream journal today. Sweet. Yeah, it really helps to connect the head to heart, right? Because what do we want? Who do we believe we are? And then it helps you to an action plan to go get it. But let's talk about Girl Wash Your Face, because I'm going to tell you why I believe only did this sell over 1 million copies, but why this works every time. So for those of you that have not yet gotten it or read it, I'll read to you this first part. It says, expect that everyone else has life figured out and you don't have a clue. If Rachel Hollis has something to tell you, that's a lie. Because here's the deal. In this book, she talks there. Let me see how many there are. 13 lies. 13 lies that keep us stuck here at a 4, even if we, and they're lies that are easy to believe. You know, things like, I'll start tomorrow. I'm not good enough. You know, loving him is enough for me. I don't know how to be a good mom. I should be further along by now. Who am I to X, Y, and Z? Those are lies to believe. Normal. Like it's part of life. Like I think it's normal for everyone to have those thoughts every once in a while. And that is what Girl Wash Your Face does, and what the Dream Life Journal does, and what all of the experiences that for you guys do is help shift your identity. Because what we're doing is we're taking that lie and we're saying, girl, that is not true. That is not true. Do not as your own. Do not decide that that's what you want your life to be like. No. That's not true. So let's shift our identity. Let's shift our perspective. Let's shift our I am statements and declare, decide, determine what we want our life, dream life to look like, and start talking about that. Because what keeps us at a 4 and what keeps us from keeps us derailed all year long and being distracted by life and really believing that we can achieve our dreams is believing the stinking lies. And I can tell you from someone who getting out with 10s all the time is that we still have those lies. We still decide each and every day what we want to believe. We've just decided that these lies aren't true. We're going to go after what we believe is true, which is that God wants us all to live out our life's purpose. And we have a clear message that we are here to offer the world when we choose not believe the lie. So my take on Girl Wash Your Face is this, my friends, is an identity shift. It takes us out of this world of being a four and believing the lies and the fear creep in because of life, because we're normal, because we're human. It gives us ammo. So we can combat those thoughts, those lies, with something different. We can say, no, I have something to say. I am, beautifully and wonderfully and powerfully created. I am impacting family. I am, overflowing with joy and love. I love where I am, and I know where I am going. And so the two things, focus and identity, I believe, are the things that are going to shift you as you go into 2019, as you see yourself, okay, how far have I come? Have I really made any shift past year? What got in my way? And then what do we want next year to look like? We don't have to have answers today. We don't have to have all of the answers right now, but I want to plant some seeds so you can simmer on this a little bit. You can let it sink in. You can about it. You can ask yourself. You can ask God to give you clarity on things that you might feel very clear about, so you can set your next year in a whole new way. I've got one last thing to look through the comments. So if you've got anything you want to ask me, or aha moments, or any thoughts as you reflect on last year, certainly write them right now. But my announcement, guys, because identity and the inside shift has to happen first. I know that getting out of our normal everyday routine is the best way to create new brain cells. It's the best way to shift it's the best way to to get so loud about a 10 that our eyes stay there. And so I've created an event in Grand Rapids, Michigan called Dream Space. It's on a Sunday. It's from 10 to 7. So if you're flying in or driving, you can come in on Saturday and then either, Sunday night afterwards, or leave Monday morning, whatever. But we've created because we want you to go from your head to your heart. We want you to know and then believe with every ounce of your being that you know that you are going after it. So in the dream space, we do a lot of this stuff. We've got time for purpose and strengths and joy and really what makes you, because we're all different. We've got time for letting go of guilt, for resentment, all of these emotional strings that hold us back. And then we've got time to simply ask, what do you, in all of 7 areas, picking one to be your next dream life goal. And then we'll help you a detailed action plan, put stuff in your calendar so you go home with a plan. And then last but not least, we're going to have a bit of a break, like a half hour, 40-minute break or so you guys can go get changed and ready and come back to the Come As You Will Be party. And this is, it's set in the year, set in year 2024, January 2024. I'm gonna pretend like it's been 5 years, and all of the things that we just spent time dreaming about, we're going to act as if it's already happened. Ooh, talk going from your head to your heart. People are going to ask you questions and think of the answer on the spot. You're going to have to think, well, how old am I? How old are my kids? Where do my parents live? Where do I spending my time? There's a lot of work that goes into even just preparing for this event, which I'll serve you with along the way. But if you are at all interested in starting off 2019 with a bang, I invite you to Dream Space. This is not a Knitworks event. This is not a business event. This is a life event. So bring friends, family members, and who's ready to up level themselves, to dig deep and create a connection plan so that, you see and you don't give up on your New Year's resolution 2 weeks in. Guys, why are we still here? We don't need to be here anymore. You've been given this mission inside for a very specific reason, and I want to help you walk it out. So thank you so much. I cannot wait to see you in January. Let me know if you've got any questions up here in the comments and in the show notes below. But I know in these spaces like this, that true transition really happens because identity shifts. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'm looking at the Nicole. Yes. Oh my guys will love it. It's so much fun. So much fun. So much fun. Like every time we do this event, it gets deeper, leave more, and it's the best. So, all right. Well, share this with anybody you know who wants to start 2019 off with a bang. And I look forward to seeing you there. Hi.